Okay, folks, welcome in. I'm a bit of a mess. I don't know if, I hope the volume is up on here. Okay, the volume's up. I'm not using the mic today. I haven't been able to exercise. And we have had an outage. I personally could not log into my Facebook account for maybe 20, 30 minutes. And there has been a concern on Facebook, obviously. My hair's I just decided I need to do this to my hair. Until it grows out, you guys can just kind of like accept the fact that I'm growing the roots out. And today is Tuesday, Super Tuesday, which is the primary elections. I don't want to talk too much about it, but I think it's important for people outside of the United States to also know, besides the United States, whoever doesn't know, that the primary elections is important because you have, I don't know, most likely two presidents going side by side this year, and this year is an election year in the United States. That's all I'm going to say. I am what you call a person that's, I'm what you call an independent. So I'm not Republican or Democrat. So I'm all about whatever's right is right, and that's how I see it. And I think it's important for people to know that that's how I believe. Anyway, going back to the whole thing of today, I wanted to do, there was an outage on Facebook. It's been a bit of a, I think that has something to do with the outages because it is a primary election day, and I think Super Tuesday, I think that was what's possibly going down. I think a lot of people are supposed to be voting. And maybe there's voting going on Facebook, I'm not sure, but that's obviously what happened there. And obviously I had 2 orders on Poshmark today. Thank goodness I have multiple platforms. I feel it's important for people to know not to have one focus on one platform, but disperse. If you're going to be working from home, disperse your skills. That's what I do right now. I don't just focus on one skill because I work from home, and if you work from home, it's important to have various skills because you are starting like a business. So I'm starting a business from home. That's how it is. And I will be going, it's back up. Thank goodness Facebook is back up. Where I was in a state of panic. I thought people had hacked it. Turns out that it was like a total outage for everybody else too, not just me. And I just want to go into, I'm using the iPad instead of the phone because I can show people to do like quick clips on GarageBand. If there's anybody that's interested, I'm sure nobody's here at the moment, but it's okay. I think it's important for people to know how to use GarageBand if you have an iPhone 12 and up. You do have Logic Pro on, you don't have it on here. You have it's what you call a controller. You can use a controller on here for the Logic. But say for instance you have, okay, let's start with this. So we're gonna start a new track. Okay, I'm gonna just give you an example. I use the iPhone for pretty much everything. I also do graphic design and photography, and I still use my phone to do pretty much everything on here. I do feel like it might be a problem if people don't necessarily have an iPhone, because I edit on here, I produce on here, I then send and share files on here for it to work for my platforms, various platforms. And I do find that it's okay to recreate cover music. If you're going to play it live on an instrument, it's okay to use your cover music for your platforms. It's not an issue as long as you know that you own the sound and all that stuff. I emphasize the music because there have been a lot of complications with people and using Facebook music library, and I always, people always say, oh well, we can just use their music, and then Facebook blocks them for certain things. TikTok is doing the same thing, not necessarily blocking, but there are closing down music that is, I think it's universal, because there was like a complication between Universal and TikTok. I think I brought it up the last one. So there are lots of things going on. You want to be an independent musician like I am, because you don't want to deal with hassles. I don't need any more stress in my life, and I prefer to do things on my own on many occasions. So I don't have music in the background because, yeah, that's just how it goes. Let's do, for instance, let's start a new one. Say you have a iPhone. Then you open it up. Okay, this is what it will generally look like. Instead of pressing all those, you're going to press this. Okay, so you're going to open that. We're just going to revise today how to create a basic track on your phone to use to work with on, for instance, Facebook or even YouTube. But the Facebook layouts is a little bit different. You don't just, I tried sending it through the video editing, doesn't allow it. You have to go through voiceover, audio voiceover, and then put it through a speaker, and then put the phone next to the speaker or whatever, and then record. So it gets a little interesting. So we're going to just use a loop. I'm not going to go fancy on this, but I feel as if many people are going to go Apple Loop, not files. It does give you a file option. We're going to go Apple Loop. Okay, and I'm going to just play around with sounds. Let's see what we got here. I'm not getting into the technical side of things. You can always go in here and then choose tempo, and then key signature, and then all those other things you can do, okay? I keep on repeating myself because I feel as if people, yeah, let's just do C major. Let's C major. If you know your key signatures, you know what C major sounds like, okay? C major, 4/4, 4 beats in a bar. We're going to do 110. Maybe let's move it down to 85, which is like a reasonable time signature. Okay. Reasonable time signature. Let's get a loop here. Let's do instruments. Let's start off with drums. Always start with drums. Okay. And the reason why I emphasize this is because we're going to keep it basic. We're going to do this. Okay. Drag it. You dragged it and put it in one section over there. Let's try another drum beat. And this is free. If you have an iPhone 12, this is a free DAW. They call it a DAW. It's a free DAW. I like that. We're going to add that over there. Okay. Something real quick. We'll just use that. Now we're going to go into keys. We're going to do a quick one. Okay, we're going to make that. That's interesting. It sounds like it's in C major. I like that. Okay, let's see. I don't know if it's a... And you can adjust the volumes on these. Okay, so you've created your own sounds. Okay, so that's the general idea. So what we're going to do now is, okay, we got the basics. Okay, and this is how you just create a quick song. Okay, so we're going to press record. You're going to press record. It's going to give you the metronome. Okay, and let's start with drums like normal. Okay, come in with a couple of measures. So measures are also considered bars in the United States. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and 1. Okay, we're just doing drums now. Okay, and then we're going to shift things out now. Okay, and then end it. So you're going to, sorry. So let's replay that. Okay, so we're gonna just replay what we just did there. It's almost like a DJ using a deck. Yeah. Okay, so we're just replaying. You can see what we just did as waves. So this is really a quick way to just come up with some music. It's really not too technical. But if you like to make sounds and beats, this is one way to do it. Okay, so that's the general idea. So you can see that this has now created that. You can then go into this little thing that is just basically editing your sounds and so on. Okay. And you can edit every section of the volume. You can even add, for instance, if you want to do keyboard, I just keep repeating myself, but I think it's important to know. You can add a keyboard sound to this now. Let's see what we have. Okay, so then let's just, I want to know if it just plays it. So you can experiment first before you even put anything down. So it's like a pocket, you can practice on here. You can use different instruments. They even have guitars, you know. So if you don't have an instrument, it's okay. You can be fine. Okay, you can adjust the volume on here too. And then you can go in once you're ready for that. You can, just like you do on Logic, honestly, this is like the older version of Logic. They've just upgraded what it looks like on GarageBand. GarageBand never looked like this before. Okay, so there are many, many things. Once you feel comfortable with the editing and production, and this is a little bit more advanced. It's not, this you cannot say is for people who are completely starting at the beginning. Okay, so what we're doing now is you're listening to this that we just recorded. Okay. Yeah, so this is not for the faint-hearted. This is like the beginnings of. We're gonna change. Let's change the keyboard. Okay, you change the keyboard like this. Epic. Okay, so you can see the sound. You can change the sound of your keyboard. Okay. So we're going to change it again. And then it just goes back to the beginning. So it goes into a loop. Okay. Okay, and I go more in depth into these, but I think it's important to talk about this. Okay, and then there is a way to transfer this. Okay, so let's say for instance this is done. Okay, we're going to go back into my song. Okay, and then you're going to press this, and you're going to go into share. Song. Okay, you're gonna press song. It already puts it in high quality. Okay, and then you share it. And then it gives you a variety of different ways to do this. You can send it to your email, you can send it to your messenger, you can send it to your phone. Okay, you can send it as a file. I'm not going to show you how I do mine, but I'm going to send it, for instance, to myself. Okay. It's exporting, so give it a moment to export. Okay. Okay, and say for instance, okay, so that is done. Hopefully that has been sent to me. Okay, and once that has arrived, you can then get this file, okay, and this file can be reshared. And say for instance, put it in your saved file section. I don't have a name for it yet. Let's come up with a name. Let's say part 1. I don't know, part 1. Tuesday, hypothetically speaking, and then save it. Okay, and then it saves it into your file. Go into your file, and then it sends it directly to your file as a wave. And then this wave can be used, for instance, like on Facebook. Just play it for you as an example. Okay, the same piece we were working on has been sent over as a file. So this is definitely not beginners. I don't, this is for people who have already kind of like experimented with music in the past. Yeah. Okay, so that's created a file. Keep it going. And then what you'd want to do eventually is to transfer that into a, since I'm recording on the iPad, I cannot record it at the moment onto, for instance, a reel, Facebook reel. But this is now considered my own sound, meaning it will not get copyright-written problems. This is my own particular music. So that's important to know. So GarageBand allows you to do that as long as you don't use separate loops as they have claimed on their site. Do not use individual loops and just play that and then record, because that would be not allowed. That is no. You have to make sure it's created from various types of sounds. I have not had an issue, and I just thought that was important to know. Once again, today is Super Tuesday. My husband works for CBS News, meaning he is going to be nonstop dealing with the elections at the moment, and today is going to be one of those days. And Facebook already had a glitch, and it has just been an interesting experience today, and it's just a quick video. I'm wanting to do maybe a video on like an elaborate version of today's discussion on, I don't want to talk politics. My dad's in politics. I don't, it's just, I chose art because I'm like not for any of this political stuff. I'm a creative person because I've been surrounded by politics my whole life, and I don't like talking about it. I try to stay away from it. I've shifted myself to a completely different environment, and music is my music and fashion and art. Anything music, fashion, and art I can relate to. I had Poshmark sales today, which is great. I can show you my Poshmark page just to show you that I do Poshmark as well. I find it's a great, oh yeah, I need to join that. Hold on, let me just put this together. So you have share shows, and oh, that I don't need to share. There's my Poshmark page. Okay. If you guys want to know how to put together a Poshmark page, I can show you guys how to do that, and then keep good standing. And I put my own little music on here, and a little video of my artwork. Okay. So that plays while you're watching it. Okay, and then my art. Okay, just a small clip. And then there's this, and then I had a Smithsonian article. I put the little link over here. Okay, and the article is on there. It's to do with my wearable art, so I'm still throughout. Okay, it talks about my information on who I am. GW was the university that I attended. It wasn't GW at the time. It was the Corcoran. It was a private entity, and it's now part of George Washington University, which is a very, very established and well-acclaimed university in the United States. Everybody knows George Washington University. It's around the corner from the White House. I chose art versus politics. It was not anything that I wanted to talk about or do because of my dad's career and lifestyle. So I am in the arts for a reason. Okay. And that's basically all. And oh yeah, and then I had sales. These are my sales. You know, and then if you guys need to see, I have like a good rapport with Facebook. 5 stars is always best to have. Okay, so I mainly focus on Poshmark to generate income. Facebook was having a glitch, thank goodness. It's no longer. I almost had a panic attack and thought it was hacked, but it's not hacked. It's now working and functioning, as you can see. And then on the other end, I do artwork. I do graphic design and photography, and I mold different types of multimedia together. So I focus on 2 different aspects, the visual aspect. So you have to keep up with the visual stuff as well. If you want to talk about graphic design, Photoshop, photo editing on the phone as well. I do that. Some people still don't have the iPhone, so they can't really do this necessarily, as I've discovered. But it's important to kind of branch out and try different things. You will use both skills on social media, which is why I do both. And I think it's important to understand that that is part of developing and growing and all that. These are the apps that I use, and then AI, of course. So there are lots of things that I'm kind of like working on. So it's not just the music, but the music is one side of things. And then the next side is the visual side of things. So I put the 2 together because that's what I studied. And I won an award for both, bringing both together in Tokyo. I was like talking about it, and then I got a scholarship for the Corcoran, and yeah, had an article at the Smithsonian. But that was for the art specifically, the music. I've performed with people. Hopefully, I'm still waiting on this drummer. We're trying to get some music together. Hopefully it's going to happen. And then hopefully maybe I can just perform live on whichever media, social media, which would be great. Then I can just, work on that. So that's just basically it. I'll talk more about and have a better video on more things later. It's just today was a massive glitch and we all had a panic attack, like the whole of Facebook. So that's the biggest news, and then Super Tuesday. So today is an election day, and it's just the main election will be in November. Today is just like the voting day, I guess, one of the voting days. It's probably going to be throughout the whole year, but the main focus will be in November, and that's basically what I know about what's going on. Thank you again for joining me. If you did for a brief moment, it's okay if it's not been a long thing, it's okay. You guys can go back and watch it again. And everybody in the music industry was talking about this young girl performing the national anthem. It was a question mark. There were a lot of questions on how she was personally trained. I don't know exactly her details. She was very young, but I don't want to, you don't want to stomp on people that can probably have potential in the future. You don't want to destroy vocal cords, so starting young and putting them on stage is not necessarily the right approach. I think it's important to build a skill up gradually. My mom is an opera singer, so she knows about destructive exercises for vocals. As a piano person myself and teaching or taught vocal students before, we built up slowly. A gradual progression is the way to go with young people. Even with vocal beginners who are starting to learn vocal exercises, always start slowly and gradually and build it up. Never push yourself to a direction that might not be where you're ready at the moment. And that's how it goes. Okay, thank you guys for popping over. It's just a roundup of what I've been working on. I am on the performance bonus on Facebook. So if you have any questions on that, it's going to be sent over through different parts of the world now. So it's not just the United States. They're sending the invites. It's actually invite only, sending invites to like Indonesia, I think the Philippines, India, I think it's going on in the UK, I'm not too sure, and then some other places, but I don't really talk too much about that. If you're interested in more information, I will send you to people who have more refined information on that. Thank you again, and I will speak to you guys later. Thanks.